When people think of championship photos, they picture the confetti, the chaos, the clutch moments, all shot from the floor. But there's a whole story you're missing from above. What's up, everybody? Jaron Fritz, aka Frizz Visuals. I'm the creative director for Colorado State Athletics with multiple years of professional sports science and photography experience. And for the first two games of the Mountain West Conference tournament, I was on the floor and in the action. But for the second half of the championship game, I switched it up. I went up top, second level railing to capture the final 20 minutes plus the entire trophy celebration from a whole new perspective. Let's break it down. So why did I ditch the floor to head up top? Well, first I got bumped to the second row of photographers because only 22% of the people watching this video are subscribed. So please help me out and hit that sub button so I don't get kicked out next year. But for real, what actually changed my mindset was this photo of Jalen Hurts post Super Bowl. Shot from above, lit only by the interview light, and it was butter. That single image completely flipped the way I think about covering championship moments. So I took the time, made the climb, and broke it all down so you don't have to, because this move to the rafters, it wasn't just a backup plan, it was a game changer. While everyone else is battling for the same floor shot, going up top gives you three major advantages. First, you're creating unique value by capturing angles no one else has. Second, your composition gets way cleaner, and with that clarity you start telling a fuller, more complete story. And third, maybe the most underrated, you gain emotional distance. Make sure to stick around until the end of the video where I'll break that down, and trust me, it makes quite the difference. We're going to run through this game in chronological order from the action to the net cutting post championship ceremony, so let's hop right into it. Now, you might have just lost your vision from how insanely bright my GoPro made this court look. So for the sake of your eyeballs, I'm switching over to the broadcast footage for the couple in-game action shots. And by the time we got up there to shoot, we had just started our run to put the game away, so I was able to get some more fun action shots, including this wild shot of Keyshawn with everyone locked in, eyes on the ball, just hanging midair, frozen in the moment. Sometimes the moment you take a photo, you know it's going to turn out special. This was one of those times. Last action shot before we get into why you're really here, and it's this one of Jay Lake at center court. I wanted to frame him inside the logo, took a few tries, and this was the best of the bunch. Alright, let's hop into what you all came here for. First up is the on-court celebration. This is that moment when the clock's winding down, photographers are getting antsy, pop up to their knees, ready to spring up and rush the court, but me, I was straight chilling at the top, no chaos, no scrambling, just locked in on our players' reactions as they unfolded. It all kicked off with this moment, Neek and Jay Lake celebrating with the crowd. Neek's pointing up to his mom and dad in the stands, pure emotion, and from up here, I got a pretty cool angle of it. An even better example of having a clear composition are these next few frames. Instead of shooting through 10 people on the court, I had clear sight lines, faces, reactions, and open space around them as they celebrated. When that final buzzer hits, every photographer sprints with their arms raised trying to capture whatever they can, but from up top, you get the whole scene, every player, every emotion, all in one frame. After everyone went through the handshake lines, they started their on-court interview, so I rushed over to center court to try to catch a better angle of it. Right as I got set, they started interviewing Neek, and I was able to snap this shot. And honestly, if you told me that after an entire weekend in Vegas, this would be the one shot I walk away with, I'd say that's a pretty good weekend. This is exactly what I mean by emotional distance. I wasn't in the pile, I wasn't battling elbows trying to shoot over someone's shoulder. I was up top, and that space gave me time to actually see the moment unfold. As we take a closer look, you've got cameras everywhere, people packed in tight, total chaos, but somehow this shot still feels calm. You can see the emotion, the connection between teammates, the celebration, all framed in a way that feels cinematic, not chaotic. And that's the power of emotional distance. You're not reacting to the moment, you're composing it. And from up here, I didn't just capture the celebration, I was able to capture the story. The second part to that same story was when all the guys started stacking their hats on Neek, and I was able to catch that too. After I was done aura farming and the interviews concluded, they started setting up the next part of the championship celebration, which is the trophy presentation. After those last two shots, I was feeling invincible, but then I realized I was stuck on the complete backside of the celebration. As soon as the lights went down, I started sprinting to the other side, but to my utter despair, I didn't make it in time for the trophy handoff and that confetti moment. I snapped a few photos, but they were all just the backs of their heads, not even worth showing in this video. Luckily, I made it to the other side soon after, and I was able to catch Neek with his MVP trophy. Right after the MVP trophy moment, Jay Lake slapped our logo and officially punched our ticket into March Madness. It was an especially cool moment for him because he spent his entire career at CSU, so I'm sure this felt like a pretty big full circle moment. I was glad I could capture these shots of both of them celebrating. I also set out to redeem myself for missing the confetti shot by getting a clean, well-composed team photo. The players are up on a stage, which makes it incredibly difficult to fit everybody in the shot from just the floor, but shooting from the top angle gives you a much clearer composition and makes sure that everyone is in frame. I just wish they were all looking at me. After the team photo, the celebration kept rolling, and you already know what comes next. It was time to cut down those nets. That's the moment that every young basketball player dreams of, and I wanted to make sure that I captured it right. Now, we all know that there'd be plenty of cameras down on the floor grabbing those dramatic hero shots, but from up top, I had a unique opportunity. I zoomed back in from that observatory angle, used the spotlight they projected, and isolated the player in a way that would really make them stand out. As you see on screen, I'm running through just a few of them. I try to capture as many as I could, but sometimes the players turn the other way, so here's some of the moments that I was able to catch. So, was it worth leaving the chaos of the court behind? Absolutely. By going up top, I walked away with some of my favorite images from the entire season, not just because they were clean or hit differently, but because they told the full story. This angle gave me clarity, gave me context, and honestly gave me a calm in the middle of a championship moment, which is very rare to find. However, a quick caveat: if you're solo shooting a championship game, you gotta be in the mix. You need to get those close-up emotional moments on the floor. You can't risk missing those key shots if you're stuck up top, but if you have a couple additional shooters with you, throw them up top. Split the coverage because that elevated angle gives you the context that a floor shot can. So if you're a creative covering big time moments, don't be afraid to step back physically and emotionally. You might just get your new favorite shot of all time. Like and subscribe if you learned something from this video. Drop a comment what your favorite shot of the day was. Until next time.